production contract sewing company. So what kind of trends do you see in people's material use or their sourcing for materials? Do you feel like in the 19 years that you've been in business, do you see your demands changing as a production facility? Do you see people's needs and desires for new things changing, or do you see any trends there at all that relate to this?
I do. When we first started, we had different kinds of fabric. You know, we would work with polyesters, knits. We have run with companies that are 100% polyester. We don't work with them anymore. I've seen the way that I've kind of evolved as a company. I can kind of pick and choose who I want to work with now. I'm not, you know, taking just what comes my way. And so I'm able to pick and choose the right kinds of fabrics that I would like to work with. I know one time we were working with some fabrics from India.
And it's basically from melted plastic bottles.
Yeah,
and they respin
in Greensboro.
Yeah,
right?
and they respin into, you know, the polyester fibers, melted down, respun into fleece fabric.
North Carolina does remain the #1 supplier of denim in the world, from what I understand. We have so many mill houses here, and it's like Jeff is saying, with the green spun, and I'm curious to know how smaller businesses and stuff are fitting into this thinking with the mills changing, and how easy it is. I know I've gone out and tried to source material from big mills. They don't want to talk to a small person that isn't going to buy
They are changing.
hundreds of yards or something.
They are changing. They really are, because we are going to, my customers are going to the mills now, and they are readily now going into the smaller lots because they know that they're not mass producing, and they're downsizing.
When you say a smaller lot, what is that?
That's about 300 yards. I mean, there are companies that will do that, and you know, it was 5,000, 10,000 before, and they wouldn't talk to a small person.
Yeah.
But now they will, and they're more willing. Maybe it's just a different group of people that are in there now than at the time.
You just show up with your truck with cash in your pocket and say, what do you have extra?
That's
Take
right.
it. You'd be surprised what
Money
happens.
talks, that's right.
Yeah.
I want to get Linda in on this as well. With your line, what are the fabrics that you use, and how do you source fabrics?
Well, that is
It's the business marketing.
right. You know, when I started about, I guess it was about 9 years ago, I did couture only, and that was in Paris. I manufactured in Italy. The green business was hemp, and then everybody was like, that hurts, that's scratchy, I hate it, and so nobody would wear it. Now, since then, of course, people like Jeff and everybody on this panel have come up with ideas on how to refine hemp, which is a miracle fiber. But, you know, my platform for all of these years has been to create luxury eco-luxury. Now, the reason for that has nothing to do with price point. It does have to do with snob appeal. I want environmentally friendly goods to be the next Gucci. I want the kids of today that are stuck in needing that next belt with a label on it, for that label to be green. So in order to do that, back up 9 years ago, I went to my couture vendors. And basically, I went around to all of the fabric shows in Italy, in Paris, in the United States, and Turkey, and said, what do you got? Oh, nothing, you're crazy, I don't know what you're talking about. No, really, okay, so who's the president of this company? And then I'd find the president and say, okay, you know, basically, what do you have? And I found that it would go, well, you know, I'm kind of working on soy. I'm kind of working on bamboo. I'd say, well, send it to me. Let's see what we can do. And because I had that couture background, I was able to market it so that, talking about small runs, they would send me pieces of stuff that they thought weren't useful. I would make them useful, at least for runway use. and send a message to the world that you can make garments out of bamboo. You can make something couture out of hemp. Now we are promoting, the milk fibers and fibers that people kind of go, how do you do that and how does it feel?
Elaborate on that, the milk. Is this your own engineered fabrics?
No, milk was invented in the 1930s.
Okay.
And with the war and other things that came along, the money wasn't there to back it. They first invented it to be kind of a substitute for wool.
What is it made of?
It's made of milk. It's a particle in the milk that's not water soluble.
Totally new to me.
Yeah, it's called casein.
Yeah.
Casein. And it's not water soluble. So they take that, and it's really a protein-rich particle.
Like silk.
Yeah, and they magically turn that protein, as they do a lot of proteins now, into fiber. Well, the milk fiber is extremely good for your skin. It's antibacterial, as is bamboo. The properties last indefinitely, and you can mix it with different fibers. It literally, when you wear it, it feels like you're in like a tub of.
Is one of your garments at the gallery using a milk fabric, or did you?
No, but I brought one
Okay.
because I
We
thought,
should
I
have
didn't
that.
bring one of milk, and I'll take it over there.
Cool.
We have a sweater line out of milk that is it's really
Do
popular.
you know about the production process? Is it chemical or is it
It's
fairly basic?
No, it's very environmentally friendly. It's still in small production, but as far as I know, and of course, as far as I'm able to, as a small company, do research. But the thing is just like all the other fibers. It started one place and it's getting better and better and better and better.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I do is demand them meet certain certification companies' guidelines, of which they have come up with. And then we look at that and then say, okay, well, this part is lacking. Let's ask them to use less water or closed loop system or something.
This is very interesting, and I definitely want to touch on this transparency of the supply chain and those issues that you're just touching on. But before we do that, I want to talk a little bit more with some of the other people about sourcing and materials and sustainability and stuff. If we could move to Mo Lappin and your works and your line, Howl Pop, you've had for over 10 years. And where do you get your materials from, Mo?
My materials, they fall from the sky, it seems. There's so many unused fashions laying around. I'm sure we all have closets full of them. So for me, sourcing, sometimes is going on a walk with my dog past a yard sale or finding things. Since I've been in New Orleans working for so long, people donate, really bring things to me that they don't use anymore. So that's my source. It's already created things.
And I really like one thing that Mo's been doing increasingly, and these workshops are the first workshop she's done with other people, and she's really looking to bring this process to other cities and towns. You have a kind of a history of going to towns and saying, hey, everyone, bring me your old unworn clothes, and then in a week's time, creating a line of clothing and fashion, and then leaving the town again. It's like this no transport. It's just kind of this vision of sustainability, if you will. She arrives, changes your clothes into cool stuff that you want to wear again, and then she leaves, and you're like, what happened? So
it's fun, and I really
it's
also
totally
enjoy seeing that reflected. In New Orleans, I can march in a parade and see the influence of the recycling, trickling through to everyone's costumes that they make, and see the other designers that are jumping out now and using recycling, just not having that be a second choice, really. So that's
Alana.